Kenny MacAskill.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I beg to move that leave be given to bring in a bill to expand the list of sporting events that must be made available for broadcast by free-to-air television channels to include all qualifying matches played by the Scotland men's and women's national football teams in the World Cup and the UEFA European Football Championship, and for connected purposes.
Hear, hear.
Madam Deputy Speaker, like many across the UK, I look forward to watching the European finals in June. Not just Scotland, but England and hopefully Wales too will also be there if they win their qualifier. I was fortunate to attend Scotland games when the competition was held in England in 1996, as well as going to France in the World Cup in 1998. Scotland is my team. They represent our nation, and Steve Clarke and his lads have done us proud. We can dream of winning the competition, but in reality, I'll be happy with qualifying from the group. We've faltered and failed to do so before, sometimes through bad luck, other times self-inflicted. But in Andy Robertson, John McGinn, Scott McTominay and others, we've a squad that's skilled and determined and a canny manager. The Tartan Army going to Germany will enjoy the spectacle. Others, including myself, will simply watch the games on television. That, after all, is how most watch their national team. It's either too difficult, too expensive, or there's simply insufficient capacity for all to attend. It's at home and on their TV screens where most will follow their team. But that's not been the case for Scotland fans in the qualifying matches for this tournament, or in the qualifying matches for international competitions for quite some time now, which is why this bill is necessary. The Euro finals, as with the World Cup finals, are available on free-to-view channels. That's specified by law. But Scotland qualifying matches are not protected. They've only been available through Viaplay, a Swedish media company, and at a cost of £180 per annum. For many in these tough financial times, that's a cost they cannot afford, no matter how much they'd like to watch the games. It's a poll tax on Scots watching their national team.
Good point.
Hence, the qualifying games, many of which were enthralling, with wins at home against Spain and away against Norway, were not available to view for many, other than those fortunate to be able to go to the match itself or able to pay for Viaplay. That is as unfair and unjust as a refereeing error or VAR review which punishes your team. It has meant that Scots fans have missed out on the well-earned success of their team. Worsening that, when these Euro finals are past and the qualifiers for the World Cup in North America begin, Scots will again be deprived of the opportunity to watch their team on free-to-air TV. The games go on as another competition beckons, but many Scots are excluded from watching their team's journey. That's neither right nor fair. It's neither the norm in Europe, where only 7 countries, including Scotland and Northern Ireland, are in this situation, nor is it the situation in England, where qualifying games have been free to air on ITV or Channel 4 since 2018. Even in Wales, where rights to the national team's qualifying fixtures were also sold to Viaplay in 2022, access was available free to air on S4C. The charging for viewing extends from the major competitions to even friendly fixtures. They may lack the same bite as the competitive games, but many wish to see their heroes perform or new stars get an opportunity. Yet the 4 friendly fixtures arranged for Scotland's warm-up for Germany are all to be paid behind a paywall on Viaplay. So even these non-competitive fixtures will be denied many Scottish fans. Meanwhile, England's warm-up will be broadcast free to view on Channel 4. The anomaly between Scotland and England international matches extends beyond the men's international team. For the women's game, ITV have the rights to the English national team, having recently taken over from BBC. Scotland games are shown on BBC Alba, a channel I know and enjoy, in which, though free to view, has neither the reach nor resource of the bigger channels. Indeed, I've seen Scottish and English fixtures going head-to-head on BBC and BBC Alba. Why the pan-UK coverage for the England game, but restricted access for the Scottish one. Similarly, BBC holds the rights to England under-21 internationals. Scotland are left to the Scottish Football Association website, showing that it's not just the men's team, but across genders and ages, where Scots are being deprived of the right to watch their national team. These fixtures also matter to fans. The Scottish football press was once described as fans with typewriters. Now it seems it's the UK broadcasters who are fans with TV stations. But whilst the Scottish press supported the Scottish team, the UK broadcasters only seem to support Team England.
Indeed.
UK broadcasters are showing themselves not as UK television outlets, but as Team England only.
Indeed.
That's happening whether by the state-funded BBC, the publicly owned Channel 4, or on commercial ITV or STV, but who have broadcasting obligations beyond the border. Some may blame the Scottish Football Association, who sold the rights to Viaplay. Let me say at the outset that I don't hold the SFA responsible for this. Culpability rests with broadcasters who have not just rights but duties, and in which they are failing Scotland. The SFA has a duty to the game in Scotland. That responsibility runs from the grassroots and simply a game to be enjoyed by youngsters, through developing pathways to continue playing at whatever age or standard, and on to those entering into the professional ranks and ultimately the pinnacle of the national team. They also require to nurture and develop not just the men's game, but the growing women's game, as well in other ages and capacities. The men's and women's international teams are the pinnacle, but their remit covers all. All that, though, comes at a cost. They require to fund it. Money's tight for associations, as for individuals. Broadcasting money that applies in other nations, such as Ireland, when games south of the border in the Premier League are shown, are denied Scotland. The reason being that the UK is classed as one broadcasting entity, and international football divergence of no relevance. Hence, a cash-strapped SFA needs to maximise income, and the rights to show the national team's fixtures are their major asset. Viaplay offers more. It's something the SFA requires to do to promote the game from grassroots to international teams. But what about broadcasters? Why can BBC, Channel 4 and ITV all have budgets to pay for England games, but not Scottish ones? It's not the SFA are seeking more than the FA. Quite the opposite. The viewing rights fee is significantly lower, as in transfer fees in the Scottish and English Premier Leagues. But whilst UK broadcasters are prepared to pay top dollar for showing England games, they're not prepared to fund a bobby for a Scotland game. Indeed, what was stated, that was stated by Simon Pitts of STV, giving evidence to the Scottish Affairs Committee, who said that there was very little prospect of a larger commercial return UK-wide, which in turn determines the level of bid. So Scots TV licence fees don't matter, and obligations to Scots viewers count for little. The licence fee paid by Scots and rights given in Scotland to UK broadcasters aren't being matched by coverage. That's why this bill is necessary. It must be mandatory that those games should be available, and broadcasters must live up to their obligations. Scots fans have a right to see their team and to expect no less from their broadcasters.
Hear, hear. Hear, hear.
Has the honourable gentleman completed?
Madam Deputy Speaker.
The question is that the honourable member have leave to bring in the bill. As many as are of that opinion say aye. The contrary, no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Who will prepare and bring in the bill?
Neil Hanvey, Angus Brendan McNeill, Douglas Chapman, Martin Day, Carol Monaghan, Jamie Stone and myself, Madam Deputy Speaker.
Fine body of men and women.
Kenny MacAskill.
Thank you. Broadcasting listed sporting events, Scotland Bill.
Second reading what day?
21st June.
21st of June 2024. Thank you.
Thank you.
The clerk will now proceed to read the orders of